Good morning. Today's video, I am going to review 10 books that changed my life. And I'm going to go through each one of them fairly quickly and do my best to share the strategies, tactics, and lessons that I learned. And if you will read these books and implement what you learn, you too can build a very successful business and if you choose to, sell it and retire successfully, which is my passion for helping small business owners, especially in the commercial real estate appraisal space, do. So why should you listen to me? My name's Calvin Cummings, founder 2X CEO, and I've built or helped build a few pretty successful businesses. Started off with my stint in network marketing, where I built a downline of about 2,000 distributors in 3 countries and $1 million business. Learned a lot about internet marketing in that venture, and it was focused on preventive healthcare, and that's helped me stay relatively healthy to a ripe old age of 72. I got involved with the .com after my tenure in commercial real estate appraisal with propertyfirst.com, which merged with LoopNet, helped build a division which they sold. It helped them extend their runway and get to profitability, and ultimately LoopNet was sold to CoStar for $800 million. So I like to think I had a small part in their success. Later on, I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to become one of the co-founding members of Valbridge Property Advisors and one of its 4 operating officers. I started off as the director of operations, helped grow it from 18 to 40 firms inside of 12 months, and then led the charge as its chief technology officer, acquiring a software company, building out a suite of appraisal report writing templates, and leveraged that national brand to grow and scale my own local firm in the Los Angeles area, Cummings Appraisal Group, Inc., from 6 to 7 figures, and ultimately sold my business for 7 figures all cash. So I am very passionate about helping small business owners build successful businesses. It gives you a lot of choices. You can ultimately sell and retire and do what you want to in your later years, or you can run your business passively, because if you build a successful business, it's more than likely you've systemized the business and helped it to become owner independent, which gives it value and helps it be sellable. And ultimately, if you're successful scaling it 2, 3, 4x, you can probably scale it 5 or 10x, or maybe even more. So anyway, with all that said, I'm new on YouTube. My channel here could definitely use your support. And if you like my content, if you could subscribe and like my videos, it'd sure mean a lot to me. And leave a comment below if you would. Again, I'm very new to this, and these initial videos are going to be unedited. So we're going to start off with Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Rich Dad, Poor Dad really has to do with financial intelligence, and Mr. Kiyosaki really had some very strong statements about the current education system, which basically is designed to create employees and favors businesses and corporations, and more or less helps people become good little worker bees. He and his wife, Kim, took a different path and chose to live out of their car and try and build businesses. And he had a rich dad in Hawaii, which let him know that although it might be harder in the beginning, in the long run, true wealth and time freedom was going to be more achievable if he would spend his efforts, if they would spend their efforts trying to build successful businesses, which they did. And, the rest is history. So I think that is the first book and the sequel to it, Cash Flow Quadrant, that really put into my brain the idea of, although there's nothing wrong with being an employee, I like to basically refer to it as the 40-year plan or the 50-year plan. And there's a quicker, actually easier and faster way to create wealth and time freedom. And that's in building a business and in real estate investing. I'm not going to focus on real estate investing. I'm going to share what I did, which was to build successful businesses. And so Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the sequel, Cash Flow Quadrant, I think is a tremendous read. It really, Cash Flow Quadrant is this T with 4 quadrants, the E quadrant being an employee, the S quadrant being self-employed, the B quadrant being a business owner, and the I quadrant being an investor. And a lot of people start off as an employee, which I did, and move down to the S quadrant as self-employed. And then, truthfully, once I got smart and realized I really needed to get up to the B quadrant and build a systemized business and generate additional cash flow and wealth that could be invested. So Kiyosaki's paradigm is basically, if you really want to become wealthy and become free time wise, you really need to get across that divide from the left side to the right side, from the employee and self-employed quadrants to the business owner and investor quadrants. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, 2 really seminal books that spoke to me and over time helped me to get to the point where I could pull the trigger and actually start my own business. E-Myth Revisited was really the book that got me across the finish line and helped me to really pull the trigger. Michael Gerber, author of the E-Myth Revisited and E-Myth Mastery, really spoke about a small business owner, Sarah, with her little pie making concern all about pies. And she was so excited about making pies that once she started up the concern, after a few years, she found herself doing absolutely everything in the business and burnt out. So Michael Gerber kind of came to the rescue in this little fable that he wrote about in E-Myth Revisited and helped her understand some basic concepts like the franchise prototype and business systemization and the overall business development process, and helped her get herself out of wearing all the hats in her business and really elevating herself more to a leadership and strategic CEO position. And it was really reading E-Myth the first time I was in so much pain running my little business that I couldn't really take it all in. And it was about a year later when I read it for the second time, when all the light bulbs and whistles and bells went off. And I realized I really needed to make a change. I needed to abandon the technician mindset of working in my business and really adopt more of a strategic CEO mindset and start working on my business as a strategic business owner. Which leads me to the next book, which was a follow-up to E-Myth Revisited. This book by Daniel Murphy, founder of the Growth Coach business coaching franchise nationwide, called Becoming a Strategic Business Owner. This was a very, very seminal book for me. And the real key in becoming a strategic business owner, surprise, surprise, is this concept of making a paradigm shift from, working in your business again as a technician or a professional to actually becoming a strategic business owner. My experience, I graduated from the University of Oregon School of Business Administration with a double major in finance and real estate. And I can tell you that, at least in my experience, they didn't teach any of the basics of what it takes to start up and to get a small business off the ground, let alone grow and scale it successfully. And Daniel Murphy really went through some basics that need to be in place with the new business, with the young business, to really give it the foundation to help it to grow. So I think E-Myth Revisited and Becoming a Strategic Business Owner were the two books that really helped me make the paradigm shift mentally to become a strategic business owner and really focus on the basics and especially systemizing my business. Along the way, I ran into a gentleman by the name of Clay Mathile, or Clayton Mathile. Clay is short for Clayton. And his book, Run Your Business, Don't Let It Run You. And I just saw this on a bookshelf at a local bookstore in Pasadena and picked it up and read it, and it was a fascinating read. Clay was employee number 6 at Imes Pet Food Company and actually purchased the company from the founder and owner when it was below 10 million in sales and grew it to nearly 3 billion in sales and ended up selling it to Procter and Gamble for over $2 billion 18 years after he purchased it. Turned it from a local Midwestern pet food manufacturer into one of the most respected brand names in the pet food industry internationally. And when he sold out, obviously for $2+ billion, he became an extremely wealthy man from building that business and selling it. And he created 2 foundations that were philanthropic. And the third foundation that he created, called Aileron, was really his Imes University, which was his management university for his leadership and management team. And he repurposed that, built a $70 million gorgeous architectural wonder outside of Tip City, Iowa, a small city outside of Dayton, Ohio, and basically created an incubator for small businesses in the Ohio manufacturing region. And he was one of many coaching programs that I got involved with. But he also wrote a sequel to Run Your Business, Don't Let It Run You, called Dream No Little Dreams. And it's a fascinating biography of his entrepreneurial journey from, again, a $10 million company to a multi-billion-dollar international giant, and what he had to go through as an entrepreneur in terms of professional management and hiring people, especially managers, and ultimately president and CEO to replace himself in the company prior to selling it. So Clay Mathile is my entrepreneurial hero. I have others, but he's near and dear to my heart. This book, Work the System by Sam Carpenter, really laid the groundwork for my emphasis on my own business systemization, which is the process of documenting key recurring business processes to make sure that they can be repeated by other people other than you, and that, they end up being done properly and of high quality and consistently. So when you go into a McDonald's anywhere in the world, if you choose to go to a McDonald's, you know what you're going to get because the product, the customer service, the experience is very consistent across all those businesses. So Work the System, fantastic read. I actually worked with Sam Carpenter and Josh Fonger, an associate of his. I brought them into my business to help me in the early days start the process of documenting our processes and systemizing the commercial real estate appraisal business. And I have a lot of respect for Sam. He had a small, answering machine service in Bend, Oregon. I'm from Southern Oregon, so that's close to where I grew up. And he was able to systemize his business and with demonstrable metrics, proved that it was the best in class of any answering service, professional answering service in the United States. Quite a feat. And it basically set him free, both financially as well as time-wise, and allowed him to then share what he was passionate about, which was business systemization with other small business owners. Before I go on to the next two books, Traction and Get a Grip, I'm going to take a sip of my favorite Joe, which is San Francisco Bay French Roast, which my wife gets at Costco for me. And I'll just take a quick moment to say I do business coaching, and the majority of my business coaching clients are commercial real estate appraisers, either in startup mode, already self-employed, or some that have actually hired employees and are scaling their business and need help taking it to the next level. So if you're interested, there's a lot. I've got like 55 blog articles on my website. There's some free guides. You can go to calvincummings.com and check that out. Again, calvincummings.com. And anyway, on to the book review. I spent over $100,000 on about 6 different business coaching programs. Starting off with eMyth Mastery, the Level 7 system, which was Eden Sunshine's coaching program, Aileron, and the coaching program that they'd started up. I was with them for a year, and then I went to Maui Mastermind, which was a high-end coaching program, and then 2X. And some of those candidly cost $30,000 to $40,000 a year. So, and there were some consultants along the way, Sam Carpenter and his team for business systemization. I spent a lot of money building some automation in some Zoho software products, but a lot of the books that I read, for instance, Vern Harnish's Mastering the Rockefeller Habits and the sequel to that, Scaling Up, were really designed for companies in the $3 to $5 million range on the low end, and really more for $5 or $10 million companies and up with established management teams. And they were just frankly too complicated for a small business like mine with, plus or minus 10 people and, $1 million to $2 million revenue range. So I kept searching for a business operating system, if you will, a professional management system that I could actually implement in a small business like mine. And thankfully, I found Gino Wickman's book, Traction, and the sequel to it, Get a Grip, which Traction is like the how-to manual, and Get a Grip is a fable, very much like eMyth Revisited, that is a fable of a fictional company. I think it's Swan Enterprises in Monterey, California or something, and they are implementing the Traction, what he called the Entrepreneurial Operating System, or EOS, system in their business with an EOS implementer. I, at the time, did not have the money to hire an EOS implementer, and so I self-implemented it with my team. And it made all the difference. It really was fantastic. I got some software associated with it, 90.io, that I use with my coaching clients, and that are the right size to deploy that. And the basic components of his system were fantastic. I'm not going to go into detail. That's probably the subject of a future video, but Traction and Get a Grip finally was a professional management system, a business operating system, if you will, that I was actually able to self-implement in my business, and it really helped us a lot. And for those firms that are big enough and have the beginnings of a management team, I always highly recommend that we attempt to implement it together as a team in their businesses. I want to shift gears just for a second to two books I've read recently that are game changers. And I wish I'd read these 20, 30 years ago. Unfortunately, they weren't written 20, 30 years ago. The first is a fantastic book called The Leverage Equation by Todd Tresidder. And Todd is a very, very successful entrepreneur and is actually in the online educational space, comes out of a financial planning, investment background. And he talks about the 6 forms of leverage, which are financial leverage, time leverage, which is obviously leveraging people, technology and systems leverage, communications and marketing leverage, network and relationship leverage, knowledge and experience leverage. And it's a fantastic book. Talk about paradigm shifts. I highly, highly recommend it. Subtitle, How to Work Less, Make More, and Cut 30 Years Off Your Retirement Plan. So that is a fantastic book. And then the next one, Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell, another tremendous entrepreneur that has just built multiple businesses. And the subtitle, Get Unstuck, Reclaim Your Freedom, and Build Your Empire. But really about how to hire the right people and have them do things that is not your highest and best use, is not your creative genius, and freeing yourself up to really do higher level work and strategic work, strategy, action plans and whatnot in your business, and have everybody do everything else that is not your genius, if you will, your unique ability, and more importantly, that you're not passionate about and that drains your energy. Those two books I can't recommend them enough. I wish I'd read them a long time ago. And now kind of for the icing on the cake, for those of you that have an area of excellence that you are excited about, that you have a great passion for, and it might not be the business that you're in or the industry you're in. It may be something on the side, like I think I shared in my first YouTube video yesterday. I'm a pool shooter. I love to shoot pool. And Shane Van Boning and Josh Filler and Fettergorst and Efren Reyes, those are people that I watch shooting professionally on YouTube and hopefully someday in person at one of these international tournaments. But I love to shoot pool and I'm very good at it. I never became a professional, but in my younger days, pretty good around a pool table. I won't launch a YouTube channel about my pool shooting love and passion, but I'm super passionate about helping small business owners build successful businesses and take those businesses from 6 figures to 7 figures and hopefully sell them for 7 figures or multiple 7 figures so they can retire early or at least retire successfully and have enough time to enjoy the wealth that they create. So I wanted to share this last book with you, The $1 Million Micro Business, How to Turn Your Expertise into a Digital Online Course by Tina Tower. Really terrific book. Quite candidly, there's been several Jeff Walker's launch book and his PLF Live that I've attended and whatnot, and some books by Michael Hyatt, creator of the Full Focus Planner, people like Sean Cannell with Think Media. There's a lot of other books in this space around the content creator economy. But if there's something that you have a passion for, that you have some experience and expertise, you can probably monetize it. online through social media and e-commerce and digital products, whether it's online courses or membership sites or, a book that you might publish or self-publish. So, I am in the process of building a free community for appraisers. This community is not going to be for the technical aspects of appraisal, how to make adjustments to comparables, or things of a real technical nature that you would get through professional organizations like the Appraisal Institute or IRWA. It's really going to be designed to focus on business fundamentals and what you need to really grow a business and scale a business and systemize a business. So, leadership, management, marketing, sales, recruiting, onboarding, training, business systemization, automation, those types of, business strategic planning, et cetera, et cetera. Although I think it's important to double down on whatever your core business or profession is and become very successful at that first. Once you have, if there's something else that you are expert at or that you're just passionate about, you can start to learn about it and share what you're learning and share as you grow in that side hustle, if you will, through YouTube and other venues, other social media venues. And you can create a very significant additional income stream or additional income streams through that. So anyway, this is my second YouTube video. Again, it'd really be nice if you could like and subscribe, and we'll look forward to catching you on the next one. With that, we'll bid you adieu, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Bye.